there's more to do and more impact I want to make on the world with our company than just cash out and sit on an island and drink a mojito.
Yeah, it depends on the day for me, right?
Okay.
Hey there, and welcome to a brand new episode of Delivering Marketing Joy. I am your host, Kirby Hossman, and joining me today is a brand new rock star. He's the CEO and founder of Railbyte. It's Neil Emeigh. Thanks so much for joining me, man.
Thanks, Kirby. Great to be here. Thanks for having me.
All right, so let's dive right in. I mean, you have built a 45-person proxy and scraping company that helps companies collect data at scale. I'm super interested about this. So can you talk about what that means for marketers and entrepreneurs?
I got into this because I'm an SEO guy back from 15 years ago. When I was 15, 14, I made my first money online writing some crap SEO content just to rank on Google. And overnight you could get page one. And I did that through high school and stuff. And as I was doing that type of stuff, backlink building and content writing and all these things, I got into this world of servers and automation and proxies, and I was just automating so many different types of things and then collecting data to help feed this. And one thing led to the next, and now we're doing proxies and helping scrape. So SEO is big. Marketers want to know where their sites rank on Google. Usually you're paying a company like SEMrush or Ahrefs, for example. We're basically helping those companies get that data to show you, for example, your ranking data.
Okay, that makes sense. So I'm curious too. One of the things I've learned about you is you bootstrapped, right? You bootstrapped the business, and then you can talk about this, but you recently turned out a pretty healthy offer to sell that. So A, why did you decide to bootstrap, and I guess secondarily, why did you decide to turn down the big dollars?
Yeah, the bootstrap was a way of happening. Our current company took off almost 9 years ago now, and that was probably idea 100 out of 100. The 100th idea is like finally something just clicked. And so I tried so many ideas before that failed, and finally something just took off. And so it wasn't more of a choice of bootstrapping; it just kind of happened. And it was at the end of my college days, and so it was perfect timing. And so the business just grew and took off from there. But in terms of selling the company on the other side of it, and I fast forward 9 years, there's a reckoning of asking myself what am I going to do? What am I going to do next? And it's an honest entrepreneurial dilemma. I knew I would be going into the unknown, and although entrepreneurs, I think, love the unknown, this is one unknown that I knew I wasn't ready for, one. And two, what I knew is I wasn't ready to be done with what I wanted to do with our company. And there's more to do and more impact I want to make on the world with our company than just cash out and sit on an island and drink a mojito.
Yeah, it depends on the day for me, right?
Okay. Well, true, right. Yeah, this is not a black and white. You're right.
No, but I appreciate that you have the idea that you have still more to do. And I think that's really cool. And when people talk about being a mission-driven business, I mean, that's the proof's in the pudding there, right? So as I was doing a little bit of research on you, when I hear data collecting, as a consumer, as a marketer, I'm like, yeah. But as a consumer, I get a little bit nervous, right? So but I've also read that your company is committed to reliability and ethics when it comes to data collecting. So can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah. So there's a couple pieces to that in terms of like your data as a consumer being collected by people who are scraping essentially. Mm-hmm. It's happening. It's the social media. Google is a search engine who is scraping the entire web. And social media companies obviously have your data, but they're also scraping other websites to get more data. The AI companies are scraping all publicly available data. That's the underlined word, publicly available data. And so as a consumer, one thing I encourage people is if you don't want your data to be scraped, make sure you're not putting it out there publicly. And by that, I mean, if you're looking at your social media, there's settings that you would say, only share this content with my friends. Now it's not publicly available. Whereas we say, show it with the world. everyone's going to scrape you now. Everyone wants to know that information, know everything about you. So there's that side of it. I just encourage consumers on terms of like what we do in terms of how we approach ethics and reliability in this context is there's companies who want to scrape behind a login, and we say, no, sorry, we're not going to violate that. So we just turn away customers. And then on the other side, there's some dark corners of the web where you can not only acquire, it's called IP addresses, proxies to do large scale data scraping via basically botnets and malware. People will come to us and try selling IPs we could use a botnet essentially to do large scale data scraping very cost effectively. Obviously that's extremely illegal, but there's more unethical gray area ones. It's not illegal, but we could be doing that. And then just other than that, as I said, there's other customers who come to us who want to use our IPs or our data collection, not just from behind a login, but just questionable content they want to scrape, or use our IPs to do things like hacking, which is obvious. But again, there's a lot of gray use cases that are not illegal, but just are extremely.
Yeah. So how do you, if you don't mind me asking, like, how do you make those decisions? Is it like gut feeling or?
Your moral code, I suppose. We as a company just are always, when new cases come up, we've got our CS and sales team trained to like spot these, like, I don't know, I don't feel good about it. And they bring it up, and then we have this, and we set a framework of different sites.
Yeah, fair. Okay. All right. So again, you're living in that space. So what do you think is next when it comes to data collecting for marketers and entrepreneurs? What kind of predict, put the ball and kind of predict?
Yeah. It's the catchword of the last 2 years, AI. I see a near future where they're like Meta, for example, has their open source AI model. And when more models become mainstream, where a small business or even a consumer will be able to just like install their own AI model to train. And those AI models more or less can just take a garbage truck of data, just give me any data. I don't care what it looks like. I don't care if it's clean, just throw it into me. And I will train myself and give you some kind of takeaways out of it. When that becomes the case, consumers, small businesses owners will now I need to get data at scale, and therein we come. We're not there yet, but the world's moving in that direction. It won't just be the closed source open AI. It'll be the open source or just platforms that'll say, hey, give me lead data and I will make sense of it. Hey, give me SEO data and I will make sense of it. And so you're feeding certain specific data first, and eventually long term, I think it gets into just give me any data.
Wow. Well, this is really interesting. I feel like I need to learn more. So if someone's listening to this and they want to learn more about you or about Railbyte, where can they go to find more information?
Yeah. Our company does the scraping proxies, railbyte.com. I have a personal blog that I write actively on. We'd love to connect with other people at neilemeigh.com. That's my first name, last name.com. And so love anybody to reach out and follow.
Awesome, man. Well, Neil, thank you so much. I appreciate you taking the time. I appreciate you staying up late for me. And we'll have to do it again sometime, okay?
Cool. Thanks so much, Kirby. Appreciate it. All right,
cool. Well, that's going to wrap up this edition of Delivering Marketing Joy. We'll see you next time.